Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's definitely been a while since I just had like a sit down one-on-one conversation with you guys. This season has been crazy with all the traveling and racing and all the bike maintenance, mechanicking, everything, training. It's just been pretty crazy, so I've pretty much only had time for like maybe 2 videos a week, which is pretty much the race vlog and then like one raw GoPro throughout the week, because really that's all I get to ride. Especially on these weekends that are like back-to-back far-away weekends, like for instance when I went to Florida, which was a 14-hour drive, and then the next weekend was Southwick, which was like an 11-hour drive. I pretty much leave the house on Thursday to get there in time for tech day on Friday, obviously race Saturday, spend all day Sunday driving home. Monday is like clean up, get everything ready for the week, try and ride Tuesday if I can, and then get everything ready to go on Wednesday and head back out on Thursday. So really I only have like that one day of riding throughout the week, which is tough to get filming stuff, because I feel like if I make a video, I want it to be revolved around riding, because I feel like that's what you guys want to see. So that's pretty much, you know, the two times a week I was riding, I was making videos for you guys, and then the other, 5 days out of the week I was either traveling or just, it was like a rest day or whatever. So hopefully you guys enjoy this video so that I can start making some more off the bike like training or just rest day like update videos like this one. This video is pretty much just going to be me talking, but obviously I don't want you guys to just be like staring at my face the whole time, so that's why I've got the a road bike ride in the background that I did earlier today. So you guys will be able to just watch that in the background, or just turn this on in the background and do whatever else you were doing, kind of listen to it as like a podcast or whatever. So yeah, that's on the agenda. I know there's a lot of new subscribers since I had the last like sit down conversation with you guys, so there's probably a lot of you who have only seen the race vlogs the past couple weeks, and you guys might not really know like my personality much, because obviously those are like stressful race conditions, so I'm not just sitting down with the camera and talking to you guys one-on-one. So yeah, hopefully this will be a little bit of insight into Jeff Walker. And yeah, basically in this video I just want to cover a couple things. It's gonna be like a mid-season recap basically. We're like officially just over the halfway mark. Redbud was round 7 out of 12. So yeah, the season's flying by. I'll go through, give you guys my thoughts on the season so far, what I think I need to improve on, what I'm doing well on, my goals for the rest of the season, plans for the rest of the year, what I want to end up doing with the YouTube channel in the future, plans for next year, maybe this winter, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, basically just want to update you guys, and then at the end, I know, like I said, there are a lot of new subscribers, so questions that I've like answered in the past, a lot of people are still asking questions that I've answered before. So I'll go through that one Instagram post that I made. It was actually on our way out to California. Bridget and I thought we were going to sit down and do a Q&A video for you guys, but it was just so crazy we never ended up doing it. So I'll go back to that post, scroll through, look at the top like, I don't know, maybe 10 comments or something, and answer the questions that you guys are having, and just like common questions that are popping up on videos and stuff. Yeah, so I'll go through and answer those at the end. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it, and we can start doing more videos like this on my off days, so that I can have like some videos to supplement the riding videos, and just pump out some more content for you guys. So let me know if you like it. If you guys are here solely for riding content, sorry, this might be a boring video for you, but I feel like it's pretty necessary. I need to update you guys and just let you know what's going on in the world of jaywalk. So yeah, without further ado, let's just get into the season recap. So yeah, the season started out kind of slow, honestly. I know I've touched on the whole like Husky 450 and Honda thing a couple times, but I'll just go over that again for those of you who are new or just missed the videos where I talked about it. So all winter I was riding the Honda 450, which I really love the Honda 450s, but for whatever reason there's like some casting issues with the head or the water lines. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is, but there's definitely some cooling issues on some of the Honda 450s, not all of them. I've talked to some people who say theirs are perfectly fine, other people who have had the same problem as me, but basically we just couldn't keep coolant in the radiators. Like after a 15-minute moto, the radiators would be like half empty. We were trying some things like the Evans coolant or whatever that's not supposed to boil. We tried radiator cap, we tried new head gasket, a whole bunch of stuff, just wasn't working. And it wasn't like a huge issue because the plan was to race the Honda 250, which we were having built at the Nationals this summer. So we weren't like, too stressed about it. The Honda 450 was just going to be a practice bike. I wasn't going to be doing motos longer than 15 minutes on it anyways. So for stuff like that, it was fine. But the problem was when we got the 250, there was an issue with the piston where the piston, a small piece of it broke off and clogged the oil feed to the head the very first time I rode it. So that thing, needless to say, got absolutely fried really quick. So just the way with parts availability and everything was, we couldn't get that fixed in time to head out to Hangtown. So I was pretty much left with racing a Honda 450 that wasn't really up to par, I felt. Just wasn't comfortable racing it at a pro national with the cooling issues and stuff. So I went out to a track and rode my friend's KTM 450. It was completely stock. It was a 2019 and I absolutely loved it. And this was like a week and a half before we were going to leave to go out to Hangtown. So we just made the decision right then to swap over to an Austrian bike just because I needed something reliable. Just to get me through the first couple rounds out west while the 250 was getting rebuilt by Championship Power Sports. So yeah, we had minimal time on it. It was completely stock, so we weren't really expecting much out of it, but we actually were able to qualify at Colorado. The first rounds were obviously a little bit slow starting off, just getting used to the new bike and just the stock setup and everything. So first 2 rounds didn't go great, but we were just making improvement after improvement every weekend. Yeah, out at Hangtown, qualifying was pretty bad. We weren't really there, I would say. Just didn't really feel comfortable on the track and everything. Qualifying was pretty bad, and then the LCQ was even worse. Made some big improvements at Fox Raceway. We were much closer in qualifying, and then I think I got 8th in the LCQ. So that was definitely a step in the right direction. Still wasn't happy with it. I felt like I should have been up there further in the LCQ and stuff, but still couldn't really complain. We were much closer than the first weekend. And then Colorado, obviously, we made it happen, 4th in the LCQ. So that was sick. I was really happy to make it in on the just all stock Husky. I think that's kind of a testament to how good those bikes are. And yeah, I was just really happy to be able to put it in the main finally. So that was round 3. And then, so those 3 were all out west. We got back on the East Coast and my 250 was finally rebuilt from Championship Power Sports. So then the whole rest of the season, the plan was to race the 250 class on that, which I was really happy to be back on that thing because we had the suspension done by Factory Connection. It was still the stock stuff, just revalve for my weight. Then obviously the 250 just handles so much better and the power is so much easier to control, especially for someone like me who I don't get to train nearly as much as the top guys, so hanging on to a 450 for 2 35-minute motos on a pro national track is super gnarly. Just because all those bike issues that we were having right before the season started, I went 2 months where I only rode 3 times. So the 450 was really beating me up quick. My stamina and fitness was just not there. So I was really happy to get back on the 250. I thought the class was going to be a little bit easier, but honestly, I feel like trying to qualify on the 250 is honestly harder just because of all those factory guys. There's 25 guys on factory bikes, so I kind of miscalculated that a little bit. We went out to High Point and didn't make it in through qualifying, but we made it in 3rd in the LCQ, so that was another baby step in the right direction. And then had some really good finishes actually at High Point, went 33-29 or something like that. So I'm definitely a much better racer than I am practicer. You guys know that if you've watched the videos. I always qualify kind of on the bubble, and then when I do make it in the motos, I end up doing way better than I qualify. So I guess it's kind of bittersweet. Obviously I would rather be a better racer, but at these pro nationals, you have to make it into the motos before you can show that you're a good racer. So gotta be both. I definitely have to work on my practice, but I've been happy with it. I've been getting better and better. So yeah, I think the ball's just rolling now, so qualifying shouldn't be an issue for the rest of the year, hopefully. We'll see, but yeah, it's always gnarly. But the next round was Florida, so I was expecting myself to do pretty well in Florida. Unfortunately, just had some qualifying issues and went down pretty good in the LCQ, and so we didn't make it in Florida. So that was the first weekend where I didn't make a big leap in progression, so I was pretty bummed about that, especially considering that I'm a Florida boy, so a lot of my friends and family and everything were out there. So would have been cool to make it in, but whatever. Just put our head down, came back to Ohio, and got ready for Southwick, which is the first round. We made it in straight through qualifying, which was super sick. So obviously, huge step in the right direction at Southwick. I was actually sick all that week and that weekend, so the motos weren't anything to like write home about. I got pretty sick in that second moto and was like throwing up a little bit. So yeah, I think the moto scores weren't that great, but qualifying was for sure a step in the right direction. And then Redbud was the weekend after that, which by far was my best finish of the year. All around, qualified like 29th, I think, and then I went 27, 28 in the motos. So I was really happy with that. Like I said, my fitness like coming into the season wasn't where it should have been just because all those bike issues, and I just wasn't able to ride as much as I wanted to. But I was actually really happy with my fitness at Redbud. Yeah, I was able to just like push the whole moto. I don't know if it was just like the hometown crowd like cheering me on or just my knowledge of the track or whatever, but felt really good and was battling with some guys who were waxing me the weekends before. So I was really, really happy with that. And yeah, obviously to do it in front of my friends and family and everything was so sick. So yeah, that brings us to now. So definitely had, it's been like a slow progress every weekend, which at the end of the day, that's all I can really ask for. Of course, I was hoping to start the season on a good note and then progress from there, but it took a little bit to get the ball rolling. Sometimes that just happens, but yeah, luckily we did get the ball rolling. I feel like we're gonna be making these things pretty good now, pretty consistently. Obviously, it's always hard. Guys are always fast, and you have to really risk it to make it into these things, but I think, we're there now. So I think the rest of the season is going to be really good. Millville's always been good to me. That's this upcoming weekend. So yeah, Millville, I've liked that track ever since I was an amateur. I think at a regional there in the B class, I won like every single moto against some pretty fast dudes. So definitely like Southwick, or definitely like Millville. I like Southwick too, but yeah, definitely like Millville. Did pretty well there last year. I think I went like 27. So looking to have a good weekend this weekend. So yeah, that's been the season so far. A couple things that I'm really happy with are my like beginning of the moto and end of the moto. I seem to like, my starts have been pretty decent, like somewhere in like the mid 20s, which is about where you can expect to be on a privateer bike, especially someone that's my height. I'm weighing in at like 175, which is probably 20-30 pounds heavier than most of those dudes who are like 5'5" and 140 pounds or whatever. So I've been pretty happy with the starts. The Championship Power Sports bike is absolutely ripping. So that's been good. But then I feel like the first 2 laps, I just somehow make a lot of passes on a lot of guys who end up beating me at the end. I don't know if I feel like I just have really good first lap pace, which is kind of weird because in practice, like my first practice is always way slower. So it seems like it takes me a while to get going, but then in the motos, like for some reason I'm like just kill it at the beginning. Kind of confusing there, but I guess I just get into race mode and like I see the guy in front of me and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna chase that guy, and if I can pass him, I'm gonna do it. So I catch him and I pass him, and then I'm like, okay, well, there's another guy, I'll go catch and pass him. And so that goes on for a couple laps, and I think on the second lap I've been like in the teens in a couple of these races, like pretty far up there. So yeah, I've been really happy with the first like stint of the race, and then I don't know if I just like start to lose focus or if those guys get in their groove and start picking it up, but it seems like the mid-moto speed just isn't there. It's like a lot of the guys that I pass early on in the moto end up catching me again and passing me, and then end up putting like some good time on me by the end. I don't feel like I'm going any slower, but maybe it's kind of a case where like I catch and pass the last guy that I can see, and then I kind of feel like I'm just in no man's land on my own. Like there's all the factory guys ahead of me, and then it's me and all the privateer guys. So I don't know if I just kind of like, I don't like have a carrot to chase after basically, so my lap times fall or something. I'm not really sure what it is, but yeah, just kind of like mid-moto, just, I don't know, those guys find their way back around me somehow, which is kind of frustrating. But then I'm actually really happy with my like late moto performance. I kind of put my head down at the end, like whenever Joey puts 10 or like 5 minutes left on the pit board, that ends up being like 10 minutes because you have 5 minutes and then 2 laps. So like when he puts 5 minutes left on the pit board, I know like I can start charging again, and my lap times drop. So yeah, I'm really happy with my beginning moto speed and end moto speed. Just gotta find that mid moto speed. But altogether, I'm pretty happy with the fitness given, you know, everything that happened at the beginning of the year. I think like at high point, my fastest lap was the 11th lap in the motos, so I was really stoked on that. And then at Redbud, my fastest lap was only 2 seconds, or like 1.5 seconds faster than my last lap. So definitely happy with the end of the moto pace, which is something I've really struggled with, just being in school and everything and not being able to put that time in. So yeah, I was actually pretty happy with that. Definitely putting in a lot of work in the gym and everything, even though I can't really ride that much throughout the week. Been putting in a lot of work in the gym. Bridget's been coaching me. She's getting her personal training certification, so she's been putting me through the ringer, getting me in pretty good shape. So shout out to Bridget. But yeah, so I'm happy with that. Things I'm not so happy with is that first qualifying session. You guys know how like you would think that the first qualifying session for me would be faster because the track's really smooth, and it should be. Like the track is definitely like 2 to 3 seconds lap faster in that first practice, but for whatever reason I end up going like 3 to 5 seconds lap faster in the second one, which is pretty frustrating because if I could find that speed, if I could find that second practice speed in the first practice, I would be qualifying really well, because like when the track is worse, I go faster than when the track was good. So if I could find that intensity when the track's good, I could lay down a really good lap time. So that's kind of frustrating. I don't really know why. I'm just kind of a pansy in the first practice. I feel like I'm pushing really hard, and then I get off the track and my lap time kind of sucks. And then maybe that's it. Maybe I just kind of get a little ticked off for the second practice and go out there and really lay it down. But yeah, I don't know what it is. Definitely need to work on that first practice intensity. Because I really want to avoid those LCQs, so definitely got to work on that first practice intensity, set that lap time in early so I can just kind of chill. But yeah, I mean, all in all, we've been making them, so I can't really complain too much, but I would really like to have a bigger cushion. So yeah, definitely need to figure out that first practice. And then of course, like I said, the other thing I'm not really happy with is that mid-moto speed. Just really need to work on like carrying that first couple lap intensity throughout the whole moto. There's a pack of riders like, you know, in that 25th to 20th range who are occasionally scoring points, and they're not much faster than me, like 1 to 2 seconds a lap, but obviously when you do 16 laps, that ends up being like 30 to 40 seconds ahead of me by the end of the moto. And like the first couple laps, like I said, I'm passing those guys. So I just need to figure out how to carry that first couple lap intensity throughout the whole moto, and I think we'll be getting close to those points. Which, speaking of points, we'll go into the goals for the rest of the season. Obviously, number one goal is always just to make it in. I want to qualify well at the rest of the rounds. I mean, I want to qualify well. It doesn't really matter where I qualify. I just want to make it in. And then once I make it in, I have some goals for the motos. Obviously, goal number one, I want to crack into the top 25. Haven't done that yet. Was pretty close at Redbud going 27, but you know, I want those 2 more spots, and then hopefully we can get kind of consistently in the top 25, and then hopefully by the end of the year scrape a point or 2. That's like the ultimate goal. Kind of every year the goal is to get points and get that pro 2-digit number. Just with how stacked the field is with all the factory guys, I don't know if I'll be able to rack up enough points to get a pro 2-digit number, but that's obviously, you know, the goal. So yeah, I want to go out there and get points bad. I got a little taste of it last year in Indiana when it downpoured. Kind of a good mud rider, so I ended up actually getting 11th in one moto, and I think I ended the season with like 10 points, and it was just barely shy of getting that 2-digit number. So pretty bummed, but I got a little taste of it, and that obviously lit the fire under me for this season to go out and get some more points and get that 2-digit. So that's definitely the goal, get that 2-digit number, and then yeah, we'll see if we can do anything at these last couple rounds. So that's the season recap, the good and the bad, like what I'm happy with and not happy with, and then the goals for the rest of the season. Now we can kind of move into plans for after the season. I don't want to like say too much yet, but there could be some Supercross in the future. Obviously, it would be really sick. I feel like my style would really suit Supercross. I had a little stint in Supercross last season. I was training with RJ Hampshire for a little bit and then went out and did the Tampa Supercross. Had a really good time. I feel like I was making progress really quick, and just in the short amount of time that I had on a Supercross track, I felt like I was making some really good progress. So I'm really hoping that the plans work out and that will be happening. So definitely stay tuned for that. I know you guys would be really excited to see some Supercross race vlogs, and I think that would be it's really cool content for you guys, and obviously really fun for me. And that's like where all the press is. So definitely would be good on a PR basis to get out there under the lights and do some Supercross. So that could be in the future. This fall will be my last semester of school, so I'll have this fall semester, and then the spring I'll be studying all spring to take the MCAT. Apply to med school, hopefully, as long as I do well on the MCAT. It's going to be a lot of studying, but hopefully I can pull off a pretty good score. Then I'll be applying to med school, and the following fall, so not the fall of 2020, but the fall of 2021 will be like when I would start med school if I get accepted. So fingers crossed for that. But it kind of leaves like this 1.5 year opportunity for me to really pursue YouTube and just pursue some other things in the moto world. So it kind of worked out perfectly where the YouTube channel is really like blowing up at a good time, where I now have this like 1.5 years where I can really devote a lot of time to it. So obviously, I mean, medical school is like has been the end goal for quite a long time. I really want to go into orthopedic surgery because I've had a couple ACL replacements, so I'm kind of just familiar with that, and it's just kind of something I'm interested in doing, helping other athletes get back to doing the sport that they love to do. So that's always been end goal, but obviously, you know, if I could avoid doing those 4 years of med school and do something else that I love via, you know, making videos and racing motocross and maybe branching out into some other stuff like mountain biking, triathlon, all this other stuff, hands down, I would take that. So this next 1.5 years is going to be really cool for the YouTube channel. I'm going to be making a really big push. Can't thank you guys enough for all the support. Like, without you guys, obviously, this wouldn't be possible at all. So, yeah, hopefully you guys just continue to show the support, and hopefully it just keeps growing, and maybe in 1.5 years we'll be, you know, making some really cool stuff, and maybe making a living doing this. That would be really sick. But yeah, so I'll finish up this fall semester. That will be my undergraduate studies done. I'll graduate in the fall. I think it will be like December. And then I'll have that whole spring where I'll just be studying for the MCAT and training for the outdoors and possibly doing some Supercross. And then I'll do the outdoor series again, hopefully do Supercross again, and maybe I'll do like one final year of outdoors before I would start med school. So yeah, that's pretty much goals that's pretty much plans for like the next 1.5 years basically. Obviously very loose plans. We'll do a lot of cool stuff between now and then, just obviously I don't have it all planned out yet. But yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, a lot of cool stuff. I'll have some good videos up this week for you guys. Then obviously I'll be doing Millville, and hopefully we're working on something for Washougal too. Michael Lindsay is trying to line up a Honda 450 for me to ride. So that would be really cool. Hopefully we can do that. I know there's a lot of you guys out in Washington who want to see me out there, and obviously I want to be out there too because I've never ridden that one. So hopefully we can make that happen. And yeah, season overall, I'm just really happy with it. So hopefully we can continue the trend of just making progress. Yeah, and just finish off the season strong and healthy, and maybe do some Supercross later. Yeah, that's about it on the season so far. I guess we can jump into some Q&A now. So yeah, I'll just go ahead and whip out my phone, go to that Instagram picture that I posted up asking you guys to ask me questions, and I'll just pick the top couple questions, go through and answer them for you guys. That'll pretty much be it, basically. So yeah, there's the picture, me and Bridget. I just said Q&A time, send us some questions. We're gonna make a video answering them. So here's that video finally. Sorry it took so long. But yeah, I'll just go through the top questions, answer a couple of them for you guys, and then we'll finish up this video. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the road bike ride. I was pretty happy with that one. I haven't really road biked in a while, but my older brother signed us up for the Sprint Triathlon National Championships, which is in like 4 weeks. So time to start cycling and running and everything again. But yeah, without further ado, I'll read off some questions and just answer them for you guys. So Jason Hayes says, what's your goals for the rest of the season? Kind of already covered that. Get some points, that's goals. What's your maintenance schedule, bike maintenance schedule? After every ride, I just pop an air filter in, and then every like 2 hours on the race bike, pretty much every national on the race bike, I put about 2 hours on my bike. We do oil, and then we just did 4 rounds on the 250, and we're checking out the top end. It's actually at Championship Power Sports, getting the top end checked out right now. It probably doesn't need anything, but we'll probably throw a piston in just to be sure that we can finish out the rest of the season fine. Why aren't you on a factory team? That's a good question. Because I'm not fast enough. I guess, I don't know. We'll get there, hopefully, maybe one day. Will you be racing in the 250 class or 450? 250. This was 8 weeks ago, so some of these questions probably have answered themselves, but let's go through it anyway. How many bikes do you own right now? I own 2 bikes, the Husky 450 and the Honda 250. That's it. What is it like training at a professional level? Insane. I can't stress it enough. How insane it is. I mean, I'm putting in work, crazy amounts of work every single day. Like I said, I'm not really able to ride as much as everyone else just because of all the traveling and bike work and everything, but I'm in the gym every single day for like 2 hours, and then I'm either on the bicycle, running, riding for another like hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. So yeah, it's crazy, definitely a lot of work. And you know, that being said, I'm putting in that much work and I'm still nowhere near as in shape as the top guys. So it's insane. Being a taller rider myself, I'm curious, are there any techniques that you use that you would consider helpful specifically for taller riders? Yeah, I'm a big believer in when you can sit, especially if you're a tall dude. If you're a short dude, like going from sitting to standing, you only have to like, you know, you're not even going fully into like a 90-degree squat with your knees, but when you're tall, you're doing like a beyond 90-degree squat every time you stand up. So what I say is whenever I can sit, if I can go as fast sitting as I can standing through a section, I sit, no questions asked. Moving your bars forward and getting some taller bars, I used to be really against that, but just lately I've been playing around with using like the front mount holes for my bars. Huge benefit because I can keep my weight more forward. I can really use all that leverage. I'm not like hanging off the back of the bike anymore. And then I really like lower foot pegs, lower and move back foot pegs. So those are kind of like things that I do. Also a gripper seat, huge. Basically anything you can do to keep your weight forward more and keep yourself from sliding off the back of the bike, because that's huge for taller guys. And then yeah, sitting. Kind of weird, like normally people just rave over standing, but if you watch like all the tall guys like Benny Bloss and just other tall guys like that, he's just the first one that popped into my mind because he's a monster, but they sit a lot. So yeah, if you're tall, try it out. If you can go just as fast sitting as you can standing, why waste that extra energy? So can you start doing tutorials, how to whip, scrub, gauge speed for jumps and stuff? Yeah, I really plan on doing that. I really want to once the season is over and I have a little more time to put into like making a nice production video. I'm a little hesitant to do like how to whip and scrub because the last thing I want to do is have someone go out and follow my instructions and eat crap, and then I'm kind of liable for it. So kind of hesitant to do that, but I'll definitely do like how to rip a hole shot, how to do deep ruts, like how to corner fast, how to ride in the mud, stuff like that. Really looking forward to that. Maybe not do scrubbing and whipping. Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. Do you think 16 is too old to try and make it pro? Justin Brayton, man, I don't think he started racing until he was like 15. So no, definitely not, dude. I didn't start really taking racing seriously until I was like 14. That was the first time I made it to Loretta's in the C class. So no, dude, 16 is definitely not too old. You can do it. All right, this video has been pretty long. We're probably getting close to the end of that bicycle ride now. I think I'm gonna call it there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you like this video because I'll definitely do more like this during the week when I'm not riding, just to give you guys more stuff to watch throughout the week, basically. These are super easy for me to make. This is probably gonna be pretty much just raw upload. But yeah, I can't say enough how much I appreciate all of your guys' support. This has been seriously so cool, like such an awesome experience. Never expected it to be like this. Obviously I like had dreams and hopes that it would turn into this, but never actually thought that it would, and definitely not this fast. So I'm definitely excited to see where it's going to go in the future, and yeah, hopefully we can kind of turn it into a career almost. But yeah, anyways guys, that's pretty much it. If you have any other ideas for videos or like things you want me to sit down and talk about, definitely drop them down in the comments. I'll have no problem making other videos like this. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Millville is in just a couple days, so keep an eye out for that video, and yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next one. See you guys.